Hey guys, God bless. Today I wanted to talk about why I like the story of Jacob when he met with God. So I'm gonna be reading it first for those who don't know about the story. It's in Genesis chapter 32, verse 22. The same night he arose and took his 2 wives, his 2 female servants, and his 11 children, and crossed the ford of Jabbok. He took them and sent them across the stream and everything else that he had. And Jacob was left alone. And a man wrestled with him until the breaking of the day. When the man saw that he did not prevail against Jacob, he touched his hip socket, and Jacob's hip was put out of joint as he wrestled with him. Then he said, "Let me go, for the day has broken." But Jacob said, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." And he said to him, "What is your name?" And he said, "Jacob." Then he said, "Your name shall no longer be called Jacob, but Israel, for you have striven with God and with men, and have prevailed." Then Jacob asked him, "Please tell me your name." But he said, "Why is it that you ask my name?" And there he blessed him. So Jacob called the name of the Peniel, saying, "For I have seen God face to face, and yet my life has been delivered." The sun rose upon him as he passed Penuel, limping because of his hip. Therefore, to this day, the people of Israel do not eat the sinew of the thigh that is on the hip socket, because he touched the socket of Jacob's hip on the sinew of the thigh. That is the story of Jacob meeting up with God. The main reason I really like that story is because when I first read it, I let out a few chuckles, like really, like you meet a person in the middle of nowhere and you start wrestling with him? Like, I let out a few chuckles when I first read that part, like, dang. That was like my main reason it was funny, but there's other reasons that I did enjoy, because there's also a deeper meaning, as we just read. He literally like touched God, seen God's face, and that sheer will that Jacob had. Even though his hip was out of place, he still said, "Bless me," like, give me the bless. Like, he knew deep down who this person was. The fact that he asked a name for God and God didn't give him a name, you wonder, like, why didn't God give him his name? Because the name is not known yet. I believe that this was Jesus, because the Heavenly Father is an invisible God, and he doesn't have, a form, you can say. Heavenly Father is a spirit, but this human, this man, it makes sense that it was pre-incarnate Jesus. So we get the preview of Jesus in the flesh. It makes sense to me, and I really like that Jacob was persistent with his blessing. He may not came out in an appropriate way, in the right way to God, but he had that will for that blessing, and God was like, "Oh, we've been wrestling the whole night and it's daytime now, like, chill, Jacob." And Jacob was like, "No, until you bless me." And God was like, "Fine." And not only that, there's another deeper meaning. God works in mysterious ways, as you can see. God works very creative, as we see here. Like, they literally started wrestling, like like, you don't, like, Jacob, the only prophet, the only man to touch God and to wrestle him and to live the next day. Like, what? But, I don't think it was his intention to, do anything malicious to the Lord. He just really want his blessing. But he came out pretty physical, pretty demanding for a blessing. And God literally gave him that blessing. I'm shocked. Wow. Even though this came out pretty strong on Jacob's end, God still gave Jacob that blessing that he demanded. Like, you don't demand things from God. It was a bit humorous. It had a deeper meaning. This was pre-incarnate Jesus. He didn't have a name in the Old Testament, so it's understandable that he says, why do you want to know my name? This name, Jesus, it's supposed to be saved until the New Testament. Jesus, Yahshua, this name has not been, named because it's for the God's plan. He didn't let out his plan. You can basically think of in that way. And the fact that Jacob wasn't tired, that again, he had will, he had strength for the whole night to wrestle with the Lord. And so God was like, you know what, boop, your hip is now out of place, because the man did not want to let go of God. So this is why I really enjoy this little story of him meeting God like this. I also believe this is a new chapter for Jacob, because now he has this name called Israel. I think this is the first story that God gave him his other name to Jacob, Israel. And Israel also has a meaning as well, which is, let me look, is no longer called Jacob but Israel, for you have striven with God and with men, which that is amazing. It's this whole story was just meaning after meaning, and in my point of view, a little bit humorous. But yeah, this is why I enjoyed the story of Jacob meeting with God. God bless, stay safe, and have a nice day or night.